In this lecture, we'll discuss about IGBT, its basic structure and working. So IGBT is nothing but the insulated gate bipolar transistor. So it combines the best qualities of both the power MOSFET and bipolar transistor. It has input characteristics similar to that of a MOSFET and output characteristics similar to that of a bipolar transistor. It has high input impedance and low on-state conduction loss. Also, it has no secondary breakdown problems as in the case of bipolar transistors. And like power MOSFET, it is also a voltage controlled device. That is, a voltage is used for turning on and off of the device. However, the turn off time of IGBT is somewhat more than that of the power MOSFET. IGBTs have other names like conductively modulated field effect transistor COMFET, insulated gate transistor IGT, gain enhanced MOS field effect transistor GEMFET, bipolar mode MOSFET or bipolar MOS transistor. So next we'll discuss the basic structure. So initially a heavily doped P plus region is formed. So this region is called as a injection layer. Okay. So below this region, a metallic plate is placed. So this metallic plate is placed in order to bring out a terminal called the collector terminal. Okay. So above this injection layer, lightly doped N region is placed. Okay. Minus sign represents light doping and this plus sign represents heavy doping. So now after this, two P regions are diffused inside this N minus region. So afterwards, two heavily doped N plus regions are diffused. Okay. So now a silicon dioxide layer is formed as in the case of a MOSFET. And these metal plates are brought out from the silicon dioxide layer in order to bring out the other two terminals of the MOSFET. So one is a emitter terminal, another one is a gate terminal. Okay. So now if you see here, in between this P plus region and N minus region, one junction will be formed, which is called as the junction J1. Okay. Similarly, in between this N minus layer and the above P layer, another junction will be formed, J2. Okay. So the region in between this junction J1 and J2 is called as a drift layer. And the region above the junction J2 is called as a body region. So this region is the body region. So now with the gate terminal open, we are going to apply a voltage source across emitter and collector region with collector terminal made positive with respect to emitter. Okay, here VCC is a voltage applied across the collector and emitter. So this collector terminal is made positive. Okay, so this collector terminal is connected with this P region, and so this junction J1 will become forward biased and the junction J2 will become reverse biased. Okay. So due to the presence of one forward biased and one reverse biased junction, there will be no current flow. So the device will not get turned on. Okay. So now we are going to apply another voltage across gate and emitter terminal VG with gate made positive with respect to emitter. Okay. So the silicon dioxide layer and the metallic plate over the gate terminal and this body region, this substrate material. So these three together will exhibit a property of a capacitance as in the case of a MOSFET. So in between the gate and the substrate, there is a silicon dioxide layer. So this silicon dioxide layer will act as an insulator. So if we apply a voltage source here, so the electrons and the holes will get aligned as shown in the figure. That is, the electrons are aligned below the gate region, and below the electrons these positively charged holes are aligned. So if we keep on increasing this gate voltage at one particular voltage called the threshold value, So the electrons will be deposited below the silicon dioxide layer as a channel, as in the case of a MOSFET. So due to this n plus regions, these two n plus regions and the middle n minus regions. So all these will get short circuited, and as such this will form a channel. Okay. So due to the formation of these channels, the holes will get injected into the channel region. So that is, the current will flow through the device, okay, from the P plus region through this channel, as in the case of a MOSFET. Okay. So now the device is said to be in on condition. Okay. So this is what we have discussed. When the gate voltage Vg exceeds the threshold value, N channel will be formed, as in the case of a MOSFET. Okay, this is the N channel. So once the channel is formed, these N plus regions are short circuited, and as a result, holes will get injected from the P plus region. Okay. So thus the device is said to be in conducting state. So next we'll discuss the equivalent circuit and symbol of IGBT. So this is a symbol of IGBT. So the IGBT has three terminals. So one is a collector, a gate, and emitter. Okay. So if you see the basic structure, so we've already discussed this basic structure. So here in the front portion, this is similar to that of a MOSFET. That is, the gate has no direct contact with the substrate. In between the gate and the substrate material, there is a insulating layer. So as such, it will exhibit the property of a capacitance. And we look into the body region. So it consists of two transistors. So one is the PNP transistor formed in between this P plus, N minus and P region, and another transistor, NPN transistor, is formed in between N minus, P and N plus region. Okay. So this is the equivalent circuit. So front portion is similar to the MOSFET, and this two transistors, one NPN and one PNP transistors connected back to back, is similar to that of a parasitic thyristor. Okay. So this resistance RB is the resistance offered by the body region, and this resistance RD is the resistance offered by the drift layer. Okay. So now the collector current is contributed by both the electron current and the hole current. So this hole current is negligible order, and hence the electron current will be equal to the collector current. So next we will discuss one important phenomenon called the latching up of IGBT. So this phenomenon occurs mainly due to the presence of this parasitic thyristor. Okay. So this parasitic thyristor is present inside the IGBT. So due to the presence of this IGBT, when the collector current exceeds a certain value, that is a threshold value, then this parasitic thyristor will get latched up. Okay. So it will start conducting. So as we all know, once the thyristor starts conducting, the gate loses its control. So similarly, in the case of IGBT also, the gate loses its control over the collector current. Even when the gate voltage is reduced below the threshold value, the device will not turn off. Okay. So in order to turn off the device, we need an additional commutation circuitry, as in the case of forced commutation required for turning off of the thyristors. Okay, this is one of the important phenomenon which occurs in the case of IGBT, called the latching up of IGBT. If the device is not turned off, it may damage the device.